Now, it's important when reading scumbags, I mean historians. Not everyone is a historian. Not everyone who is trained in history and can be a good historian. Many of them have an axe to grind. Bart Ehrman, for one. But this guy, unfortunately, my shadow is casting. What? Oh, okay. There it is. Let's see if I can get you guys to see it. Hold on. Constantine's letter contains no mention of the intention of excommunication. It mentions no intended excommunications that were to have been the main event at Ancyria Conference. His desire was for unity, not further confrontation. Moving the intended conference to Nicaea was a clever stroke. Now the bishops were summoned not by contentious and contending churchmen, but by the emperor himself. Now, I want to know, this is just, for my sake and just an exercise, and see how you guys figure this one. Now, this John Romer guy contains no mention of the intended excommunications. Contains no mention, not a hint. How do you know what his intention was? Again, how does this guy know Constantine's desire? How many works of Constantine are left? Because this guy acts as if Constantine, had, his personal diary, and told us what he thought and what he knew. We don't rely on Procopius or Susamon or Eusebius of Caesarea. This is, think of a guy, wringing his hands and that's the picture that he keeps trying to paint of Constantine. The council began with Constantine seizing the initiative of the Eastern bishops, who he had already called a smaller council to settle a question of heresy. In the letter announcing the imperial convocation, Constantine says it was formally agreed that the Synod of Bishops... I can't even go on with this. Check out this one in the previous page. In AD 325, at least you got that one part right. The year of the council, Constantine was unpopular in Rome. Are you friggin' kidding me? Wrong. Wrong. Council of Nicaea, striking a balance. It is a measure of Constantine's genius, as Dean Stanley once observed, that every church feels that it has some standing place in the Council of Nicaea. Authentic records of the council are very scanty. Most of our history is church legend, yet the effects of the council are still felt in the Christian church and Western government Oh, for the love of God. And Western government. So successful was Constantine's solution to problems of his empire. No, it was over 1 iota. Homoousia or homoousia. It wasn't. Dean Stanley says this. Very scant. Let's see if we can square this. Records of the council are very scanty. Yet, he went into, he began with seizing the initiative. In going into, his letter contains no mention. His desire was for unity, not further confrontation. I already told you the three main sources where we get our view of the Council of Nicaea, and those are the three closest ones. This guy, again, it's easy to throw stones at Christ because you can actually say, yeah, he said turn the other cheek, fuck that guy, or we don't know about him having sex, he was a faggot. Like, you could at least say that. But of Constantine, most people don't know jack about him, but they're like, oh, he started the Pope and created purgatory. You can just say whatever you want about him. But this is just clearly lies. He even quotes a modern scholar, a modern person, as if there's any authority there. It'd be nice if he quoted, well, Eusebius thought this, or Athanasius didn't like him. He could even quoted the Pope. The Pope of Rome hated Constantine. But no, because Constantine actually was a great leader and compassionate and wise and, stopped one of the biggest genocides in history, the biggest genocide in history up until that point. But, they need to turn him into an evil monster. Even though he didn't force his religion on anybody or make it the state religion. He just, let sleeping dogs lie.